One of our subscribers, named Bella, sent me this story, and the moment her phone lit up with a $15,000 charge, she said something inside her went completely still. The notification hit like a punch. $15,000. Luxury catering, Lake Tahoe, authorized 1 minute ago. I stared at the screen. I was in San Francisco. My wallet was in my purse, and I definitely had not ordered $15,000 worth of catering. Before I could call the bank, a text flashed across my screen. Tiffany, I booked your house for my wealth and wellness retreat starting Wednesday. Used your card for the deposit since mine is frozen. Don't be petty, it's an investment. No question, no request, just entitlement wrapped in an insult. I called my father, Robert, expecting anger, expecting him to say he'd fix it. Instead, he sighed. I promised her clients the house is ours. Bella, if you cancel, you humiliate me. Just let her have this one win. And just like that, I understood. The betrayal wasn't financial, it was structural. Has a family member ever spent your money without asking and then told you to calm down? Tell me in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone in this level of audacity. I didn't argue. You can't reason with someone who chose sides years ago. I pressed end call. The silence in my office wasn't peaceful. It was the sound of a bridge collapsing. I looked at my calendar. Cancel everything, I texted my assistant. Family emergency. Then I grabbed my keys. The drive to Lake Tahoe usually takes 4 hours. I made it in 3. The hum of the engine was the only steady thing as memories replayed in my mind. My name is Bella. I'm 29. I didn't inherit wealth. I built it. I started a tech logistics company from a dorm room laptop while everyone else was at parties. I traded my 20s for stability. And my family treated my success like a shared utility. 3 years ago, I gave Tiffany $20,000 for her ethical clothing line. She spent it on a Bali trip for creative inspiration. When I asked for a business plan, Dad called me cold. You care more about spreadsheets than your sister's soul. They laughed at me for being cautious, but every dollar they took was just buying them front row seats to their own downfall. The house rose from the snow like a glass ship. $3.5 million of steel, stone, and privacy. It was supposed to be my sanctuary. Tonight, it was a battlefield. I didn't unpack. I didn't go upstairs. I walked straight into the hidden office behind the kitchen, my command center. I opened my laptop and pulled up the smart home dashboard. The interface glowed blue. Master code, delete. Guest access, revoke. Perimeter alarms, silent mode. One by one, I severed their access. Green turned to red. Clinical, precise. Then I saw the heated driveway control. Outside, snow was falling thick and heavy. By morning, it would be ice. I clicked it off. If they wanted my house, they could slide for it. I poured black coffee and sat in the leather chair watching the security feed. The house was dark. Magnetic locks engaged. The stage was set. I wasn't the little sister anymore. I was the fortress. At exactly 2 a.m., they arrived. 3 rented black SUVs. I leaned forward as they crunched across the icy driveway. Tiffany stepped first. White cashmere coat, dramatic hand motions, commanding space. She swept her arm toward the house as 10 women climbed out behind her, declaring, "Welcome to the sanctuary." Through the high-gain audio feed, I heard her clearly. "Leave your trauma at the door." She climbed the steps without hesitation and punched in the code. My birthday, of course she never changed it. The keypad didn't beep. It flashed, solid red. She laughed lightly. "Technology," she chirped, "always slow to wake up." She punched it again. Harder. A third time. Silence. The kind that echoes. Most people, when locked out, look confused. They check their pockets. They question the address. Tiffany didn't look confused. She looked offended. There is a specific rage that lives inside a narcissist. When reality refuses to cooperate, it's not inconvenience, it's injury. That locked door wasn't a glitch, it was contradiction. Her face shifted, the spiritual guru mask dissolved. Something feral replaced it. She stared directly at the camera lens. "Open it," she hissed. Not a request, an order. My phone lit up. Tiffany calling. I let it ring. On one screen, her face twisted. On the other, her name flashed again and again. Behind her, clients whispered. One woman checked her watch. Another looked back toward the SUVs. "It's just a system reboot," Tiffany snapped, her voice cracking. "My assistant forgot the update." Then she turned and kicked the door, hard. Designer boot against custom mahogany. "Open the damn door, Bella!" she screamed, forgetting the audience, forgetting the lie. "I know you're doing this." She grabbed the handle and rattled it violently. She didn't look like my sister anymore. She looked like a cornered animal. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one being cornered. She was throwing her entire body weight against the frame, screaming profanity that echoed off the frozen lake. I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel guilt. I took a slow sip of my black coffee and watched the meltdown. She was unraveling thread by thread in 4K resolution. Then she stopped. She took a breath. She pulled her phone out again, but she didn't call me. She dialed the one number she knew would always answer. Dad. She sobbed into the phone, the victim mask sliding back into place instantly. "She locked me out. She's ruining everything." I set my coffee down. The siege had begun. 10 minutes. That was exactly how long it took for Robert's truck to skid into the driveway, fishtailing on the ice I'd created. He didn't park. He abandoned the vehicle sideways, blocking the exit, leaving the engine running and the headlights cutting through the gloom. I zoomed in with camera 3. My father didn't look like a concerned parent coming to mediate a dispute. He looked like a man who had lost control of his assets. He jumped out of the cab, slipping slightly on the frozen asphalt, but he didn't reach for a key. He reached into the truck bed and pulled out a 3-foot steel crowbar. My heart didn't race. It slowed down. It was the calm of a sniper taking a breath before the shot. "Dad!" Tiffany screamed, running toward him, her heels skidding. She changed the codes. She locked me out. Robert didn't hug her. He didn't ask if she was okay. He marched past her, his eyes fixed on the front door like it was a personal enemy. He walked right up to the custom-tempered glass that cost more than my first apartment, and he didn't knock. He swung. Crack. The sound was sickening, a spider web of white fractures exploding across the surface. The safety glass held, but it was ruined. "Open this door, Vella!" he roared, his voice distorted by the microphone, but clear enough to shake the snow off the eaves. "I paid for this house. You don't lock me out of my own property." A lie. A loud, violent lie told in front of 10 witnesses. The wealthy clients were backing away now, clutching their designer bags, eyes wide. This wasn't a wellness retreat, it was a crime scene. I didn't call the police, not yet. That was too simple. That was just consequences. I wanted destruction. I opened a new tab on my laptop. Years ago, when Tiffany was launching her brand, I had set up her business Facebook page, Divine Wealth Coaching. I was still the admin. I hadn't posted in 3 years, but I still had the keys to the castle. I clicked the button labeled Connect External Source. I selected Security Feed Front Door Cam 4K. Then I clicked the big blue button, Go Live, broadcasting to 15,000 followers. The screen confirmed. I unmuted the house-wide public address system. My voice didn't shake. It filled the air outside, booming from the hidden speakers like the voice of God. "Attention, guests." Everyone froze. Robert stopped mid-swing, the crowbar raised above his head. Tiffany spun around looking for the source. "Please check your phones," I said, my voice crisp and cold. "You are currently live on Facebook. This is not a retreat. This is a burglary in progress." The reaction was instantaneous. 10 phones lit up. 10 women gasped as they saw themselves on their own screens, standing in the snow while a man attacked a door with a weapon. Tiffany does not own this home, I continued. She has defrauded you. I suggest you ask for your refunds immediately before she is arrested. Chaos. "You're alive!" one woman shrieked, covering her face. "My husband is a lawyer," another yelled, turning on Tiffany. "You said you owned this estate." Tiffany looked at her phone. She saw the viewer count ticking up, hundreds of people watching her father commit a felony in real time. Her brand, her image, her entire constructed reality was dissolving into pixels. "Turn it off!" she screamed at the sky, at the camera, at me. She threw her hands up, trying to block the lens, looking deranged. "Tella, turn it off! You're ruining me!" Robert didn't care about the camera. He cared about control. He swung the crowbar again, shattering the panel as glass exploded across the porch. "I'm coming in there," he roared on my monitor. I took a screenshot of his violent face. Perfect. Then I dialed 911. When the police arrived, Robert dropped the crowbar and transformed instantly into raging aggressor into a trembling, concerned father. Tiffany followed suit, crying softly, playing the victim. They claimed a misunderstanding. Robert handed the officer a lease, January 1st, my signature, forged. The officer sighed. To him, it looked like a civil dispute. He ordered me to open the door. They thought they had won. I stepped outside, holding a manila folder, not keys, not surrender. Inside was an employment contract. Tiffany was a live-in employee under Nevada law. That made her housing a service tenancy. No job meant no right to stay. I fired her on the spot. The officer understood immediately. The lease collapsed, the loophole vanished. Robert snapped. He lunged first at me, then at the officer. That ended it. In seconds, he was face down in the snow, arrested for assault and burglary. Tiffany ran, then fought, and was cuffed as well, her live stream still broadcasting to thousands as her brand imploded in real time. When the cruisers disappeared down the mountain road, silence returned inside. I locked the door. My phone buzzed. Tiffany's card canceled. I blocked their numbers, stepped onto the balcony, and watched fresh snow erase their tracks. You can't choose your family, but you can choose who gets a key. And for the first time, it was mine alone.